Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here. Today I'm not bringing you guys any OU, NU, or old generation content, but quite on the contrary, I'm bringing you guys 1v1 content. So there is a format on Pokemon Showdown and specifically on Smogon forums that you play in that you bring teams of 3, you select one Pokemon, and you have a 1v1 against your opponent. It is definitely different in terms of playing and skills and concepts than singles OU, which is 6v6, or even doubles, which is 2v2 6v6, if you will. But it's still very fun. It still requires a lot of thought and really proactive play. And in conclusion, I enjoy it. I actually think it's really fun. I'm pretty new to that community and the format. In fact, this is my first ever really serious 1v1 series, but I signed up and I got picked and I got put in Generation 6 to start things off. I'm probably going to play a couple of generations. I might play 5 or 8 or 7. I'll have to wait and see, whatever my team needs, of course. But right off the bat, I'm against Mubs, and Mubs is a simply fantastic player. He won a recent Oras tournament, and I know that he's just a great, knowledgeable 1v1 player. Coming into this, my main experience was just learning through my team chat. I have a lot of great players on my team and also some really helpful team members. So it's been a really fun week or two learning this format, but all in all, I'm still a bit raw. I have kind of an idea of what Pokemon do, and I really spent a lot of time at team preview sort of thinking it through, making my selection. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through all, be it 3 or 5 games. It's going to be a best of 5 series, so maybe I win 3-0, maybe I lose 3-0, or maybe it goes 4 or 5 games. Not going to spoil the results, and we're going to just explain my thought process and the games themselves. I know 1v1 isn't as easy to really turn into YouTube content because you don't have the same thought process when it goes to turn through turn play, and the games aren't as long. They go anywhere from 1 to 5 turns, really. That's about it. But with that said, I'm going to do my best to give this the best spin possible and make it as enjoyable as you guys can. I know a lot of people in the 1v1 community are also interested in, having a bit more of a YouTube kind of base, I guess. And I'm not necessarily someone to form that or contribute to that, but Elo Bandit is someone who's done a lot of great 1v1 gimmicky videos, and I definitely would advise checking him out. He's been on this YouTube more than I've been on it. He has a great following already, but if you guys aren't familiar, check him out for sure. And I'm sure there are some other 1v1 content creators, and if you guys are around, hit me up. The next time I post a 1v1 video, I'll be sure to try and give you guys a shout out as well. But in the meantime, this is going to be my series against Mubs in Oras 1v1. So first game here, I'm bringing a team with Mega Lopunny, Volcanion, and Mega Gardevoir. Right off the bat, I'm looking at his Pokemon. I'm like, okay, so Heatran, Superior, and Mawile. Now, Mega Mawile, it's always Mega, tends to run a bit more of a specific set mix. I've seen it run Metal Burst, and also I've seen sometimes it running like Elemental Coverage to cover everything, but normally it minimizes out in speed and it runs a lot of bulk. I'm thinking that my Gardevoir with Will-O-Wisp actually can live multiple hits from it and potentially to KO it, but I don't love Gardevoir into Heatran, which pretty much wells it, and depending on a superior set, it could 2 KO Gardevoir, so right off the bat, I'm like, okay. Gardevoir is reliant on a Will-O-Wisp to catch Mawile, and it doesn't do as well against the other two, especially Heatran, since I wasn't Focus Blast or Power Ground, so I'm probably not bringing Gardevoir, and he probably knows I'm not bringing Gardevoir. That leaves me with 2 Pokemon. Volcanion dominates Mega Mawile, even to max special defense. Specs, Overheat would decimate it, and it beats... Okay, so here's the deal. It loses to Specs Heatran, because Specs Earth Power is always killing, and it loses to Possible Berry Heatran, but I haven't seen much of that. I've seen Shucka, I've seen Chople, so I'm thinking right off the bat that it depends on the Heatran set, and I'm thinking that Heatran would make sense because Heatran already beats Gardevoir, so if he Specs Heatran, he's very likely to bring that as it covers 2 out of 3. As for the Superior, it'd be weird because if he's Subseed or if it's Aqua Berry, then it could beat me, but if it's a Assault Vest or it's neither of those things, then it actually loses to the Volcanion. So I'm like, okay, I think Volcanion actually has a chance of beating all 3 depending on the set, but 2 of the Pokemon have sets it can't beat. And then there's Lopunny, which Lopunny would lose to Mawile in all likelihood, but it would beat any weird Wisp, Chople, Heatran with, I don't know. And it should beat Superior if it's not max speed plus speed. I'm actually a slower variant of Lopunny with some bulk, but all in all, I knew that I had priority on this, plus the ability to run strong attacks like high jump kicks. I figured it'd be okay. So I'm thinking more and more into it. I'm like, okay, I'm fairly confident he's going to bring Heatran or Superior. Mawile, it just doesn't make a lot of sense when I've got Volcanion and potential Wisp and Lopunny. And I'm thinking that I think the best chance of beating both of them would be Mega Lopunny here, as it should beat any Heatran. It should live any one attack, barring Specs, and if it Specs, you outrun and kill it in one shot. And as for Superior, there are some ways I could lose, like Glare Paralysis runs that, or missing a high jump kick and so on and so forth, but I like my odds. And Volcanion, I feel like he's gonna bring the thing that beats Volcanion, because on paper I'm less an experienced 1v1 player, and Volcanion in theory could lose to Spec Ctran, and I would know that going in. So I think that if he Spec Ctran, he probably brings that. Otherwise, he probably brings Superior. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my Megalopony, liking my odds against both those two, and he brings Ctran. Right off the bat, I get a Fake Out turn 1 just in case he's some weird Protect range, or maybe to get some damage in case he's Chopple. Make sure he gets to a kill or whatever, even if he's Wisp, and I get the kill with High Jump Kick on turn 2. So that's that. I'm already up 1-0 in this series, but now we have game 2. I'm bringing a team with Empoleon. It's a cool set. I don't want to necessarily reveal it if I don't bring it out, so I'm just going to say it's a cool set that I trust to beat Gardevoir. It has a chance to beat Swampert, but it's going to fall flat against Dragonite. There's no ice coverage on this set. Then I also have a Victini and a Kyurem Black. Now, as for the Victini and Kyurem Black, I already know right off the bat I don't like my matchup with the Victini against the Dragonite, but I like it otherwise, especially against the Gardevoir. I think it's pretty much automatically winning against Gardevoir, and I'm looking at my team matchups. I'm like, okay, I don't think I could lose to Gardevoir with my Empoleon or my Victini unless he brings a very surprising set. And meanwhile, Kyurem Black is the only thing I have in my team that beats his Dragonite, and I think it should handle Swampert pretty well too, barring critical hits on his side. So I'm actually a Habanberry, by the way, on the Kyurem Black, which Scarf Dragonite is pretty common due to coverage and multi-scale. It's really good in 1v1. So I'm like, with the Terravolt plus Habanberry, I could even surprise that. So I think I'm going to bring Kyurem Black. And it was mainly instinctual, but I knew that that runs the risk in bring Gardevoir, as I can't beat Gardevoir. It either one-shot or two kills me always, and I can't two-kill it. No matter what, Rock Tomb is my main ability to damage it, or Toxic. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to go with Kyurem Black. He brings Gardevoir, then we're 1-1. And lo and behold, he gets me there. He makes the right read. He leads off with the Gardevoir, and he's going to go ahead and take me out with a Hyper Voice or a Hyper Beam. I'm not quite sure I remember. I do nice 27% with Rock Tomb, don't get me wrong, but Hyper Beam, as you see there, is going to do the trick, and it's going to be a 1-1 series. So already up to a nice back-and-forth start there. My guy, Mubs, is definitely a really strong player, so not surprising that he made the right decision there. We're into game 3, and I'm like, okay, so right off the bat, Victini is going to completely shred my Metagross. I can't kill it in 1, and he can kill me in 1, in all likelihood. And Megalopony is kind of going to suck against Slowbro, but it could 2-kill Metagross, and I can't one-shot it, so I got to be careful. It really depends on rolls and sets and EVs and whatnot. And Diancie is going to lose to Metagross, but it's going to beat Charizard in all likelihood. But then I'm looking a bit deeper into it. I'm like, okay, well, Megalopony never beats Slowbro, in all likelihood, given my set. And Diancie never beats Slowbro, given my set again. But what if he is, what if he's Special Victini? Then I've got Amnesia on Slowbro. Or if he's Physical Victini, then I have Barrier on Slowbro. I'm actually Barrier plus Amnesia plus Scald. So I'm like, it should beat the other two Pokemon. And if he brings Victini, it's a 50-50. I could Amnesia on Special, or I could Barrier on Physical, and I should be fine. You can't crit a Mega Slowbro. And I'm looking, thinking more and more, and I'm like, it's probably going to be a Physical Victini if he brings it, because Special Victini is going to struggle to beat Charizard in this matchup, especially because I'm Charizard Y. And Charizard Y, it lives a Thunderbolt, and it should be able to 2-KO with the moves I have in my set. I don't want to disclose anything, but just looking at what I had in my EV spread, I think I was pretty confident that I could handle that matchup, especially if I had Roost, which I'm not going to disclose or not, but I felt pretty confident bringing my Zard into Victini, so long as it was special. So I'm figuring he's probably going to bring it if it's physical, because otherwise it doesn't really cover more than half the matchups. It's kind of rough, though, because I don't know, but I kind of tunneled myself into a bit of 50-50 here, where like, okay, he brings Victini, which I kind of expected in a Slowbro, and I'm like, okay, well now, it's like, shit, if he's special and I click Amnesia, I win, but if he's special and I click Barrier, I lose. And if he's physical Choice Band, which is common, and he clicks Fusion Bolt, and I click Amnesia, I lose, Barrier, I win, so I was like, crap, I gotta get this right, and lo and behold, I think it's Iron Defense, not Barrier. Anyway, I click, he's special, and I go for Iron Defense, yeah, that's what it is. And unfortunately, it gets into a KO, you got that right, so I got it wrong, and now I'm in a hole. Yeah, I had 50-50 between physical and special. I'm like, yep, okay. Anyway, game 3, right off the bat here, I'm like, wow, he's got a Jump Bluff. Okay, that's a really annoying Pokemon in the face, but all 3 of my Pokemon have offensive options that really scare it. So I'm going to go and say right off the bat that I kind of went off on a limb and said, I don't think he's going to bring Jump Bluff here. It would be hard for him to get enough setup to really win, leverage his opportunity with it. I thought he was going to bring Gengar, and against Gengar, my Landorus T and my Greninja do really, really well. It's my first instinct. I'm like, okay, so I'm probably going to bring Greninja, but I'm like, Dragonite, he brought Dragonite last time. He didn't bring Dragonite last time, and it looked good then. it kind of looks good here because all the coverage it could do. It should beat my Landverse always, and my Greninja set wasn't really able to confidently beat it, so I actually went with Mawile, knowing there's a chance I'd beat Jumpluff with it, and I should be able to beat any Dragonite with it as I'm Intimidate, and I got Metal Burst and Play Rough, so I felt confident proceeding with it, knowing if he's got Wisp plus Hex Gengar, I probably lost unless he misplayed or got unlucky. So yeah, he goes ahead and leads with the Dragonite. I get the Mega Up after the Intimidate. Fire Punch only does 36%, but it burns me. I go Metal Burst, it does 51. I'm like, okay, I just have to hit Play Rough here, and I should be fine. And he goes for another Fire Punch. I hit the Play Rough, and I'm good to go. So yeah, I didn't want to Metal Burst just in case it was a weird set. I didn't want to lose any mind games or whatever. I'm a new guy in 1v1, so I wouldn't be shocked if he brought any techs against me. It would make a lot of sense. And you know this guy, Mubs, is really experienced. So yeah, maybe a risk missing that I didn't need to do. But either way, we're now 2-2 going into Game 5. And Game 5 is a doozy. So in 1v1, my familiarity with Donphan is with Sturdy, it runs Choice Band. It has nice coverage coupled with Earthquake. And that set would be able to decimate my Charizard and also defeat my Tracheon. But with Will-O-Wisp plus Hyper Beam or Hyper Voice on the Gardevoir, especially with my bulk, I should be fine against it, actually. So long as I hit a Will-O-Wisp. So I'm like, okay. So Gardevoir is my out against Donphan. Kyurem Black I should beat with both Terrakion and Gardevoir. And I was kind of confident he wouldn't bring it. Even Zard could beat the right set at the right time. So then there's like, okay, then there's Victini. Victini is going to be able to beat Gardevoir in all likelihood, especially if it's the physical variant, but it would lose to Tracheon. So in my eyes, it's kind of 50-50. If I bring Tracheon and he doesn't bring Donphan, I win. If I bring Tracheon into Donphan, I lose. If I bring Gardevoir into Donphan, I win. If I bring Gardevoir into Victini, I lose. Kyurem Black, I win. And I'm like, I think he's going to go Donphan because I'm not going to know he's not going to think I know what to expect into it. Maybe I bring Zard mistakenly into it and he's able to get the Sturdy and then the one shot on me. Or maybe I bring Tracheon expecting the other two. But really, there was no way to be sure. It was a bit of guesswork, and lo and behold, you bring Donphan, I bring Gardevoir, so I just got to hit the Wisp and I'm good to go. And thank God I connect with the Will-O-Wisp. I Mega Evolved because I figured if he's Gunk Shot, then I'm probably going to be able to live regardless, and I wouldn't be able to kill him in one shot if I missed Wisp anyway, and that was my line of play. So I didn't want to risk a crit Gunk Shot with Poison potentially killing me through Sturdy otherwise, so I wanted extra bulk. And it actually helped out a little bit with Earthquake, didn't really matter though. I got that off, and I was good to go. I was also scared, by the way, of him not being banded, being like Assault Vest or something, and having Ice Shard bring me down to Sturdy turn 1, and yeah, so I think Megging was the best play. I actually talked about this at some length in my team chat, but yeah, damage revealed it to be Choice Banded, and I got the kill there. I didn't risk Hyper being missing. I got the Hyper Voice off, and that was that. So by the skin of my teeth, by 8% on this Mega Gardevoir, I was able to emerge victorious in 5 games in this best of 5 against Mubs. Very well played to him. Some really cool team choices on his side, and my teammates were able to supply me some great teams as well. All in all, I had a blast. It was a lot of critical thinking that really I wasn't used to in the singles format, so that's definitely interesting. It requires a totally different skill set, and I was really glad to be immersed in this this metagame and really learn all of these new things this week, so it's a lot of fun. Thank you to my teammates for that support, and yeah, if you guys want more 1v1 content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know on Discord or on Twitter. I'm trying to, supply as much content as I can, cover some different communities. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed this. Anyway, guys, hope you guys all have a great day. I'm going to go off and watch the Super Bowl now. So yeah, later.